Any other questions? Okay, Vice Chairman Barbie's making a motion, we accept the bid for Golden Corral Ashboro for 1 or 2 years.
One year.
You wouldn't want to do 2?
The reason we're requesting 1 year is because we are about to go to a different service option and a plated option versus a bulk. So we want to see how that goes for 1 year versus 2.
Okay. Got a motion and a second for 1 year. $4.85 per meal. Any other questions, discussion? I've eaten at the senior center and the meals are good, so. What are you laughing at? You're of age, you could attend also. Yeah, a lot of this board could attend.
Let me know when you
Yeah, I will. I'll invite you the next time. All right, so we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you for your
Pamela.
time.
Yeah, keep those good meals rolling. And while you're up here, I'm gonna mention every month, the 4th Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m., the Senior Center in Albemarle has a veterans breakfast, and I attend most of those, and I'm telling you, it's nice to see World War II veterans, Korean War veterans, Middle East, Afghanistan veterans, Vietnam veterans. I mean, there's a mixture of men and women that have served our country, and they get a breakfast and a lot of fellowship, and it's a good event. So if you're listening out there and you're a veteran, please call the Senior Center and let them know you'd like to come to the next breakfast. Thank y'all for doing that. That's good. Okay, next on the agenda is Physical 23-24 Audit. Toby Henson, Finance Director. Come on up, Toby, and give us some exciting news.
Well, I would say the audit's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but I'll do the best I can. Appreciate you having me here this evening. General Statute 159-34 states that the auditor shall be selected by and shall report directly to the governing board. So what we're here for tonight to get you to approve is the selection of the auditor. I'll just do I don't know if you remember the discussion that we had last year, but what I did last year when I came to you, I did back in March of 23, I did kind of an analysis or research to just see what audit firms are doing the majority of the counties. And what I found out last year, of the 89 counties that were reported at that time, which was in March, this would have been for the fiscal year 22 audits. Again, there were 89 counties reported, which means there were 11 counties that were way overdue reporting their audits. But of the 89, there were 3 firms that did the majority of the audits. Well, really, you could about say 2 did, but there were 3 firms. And I reached out last year to each of these firms, and 2 of them, of course, responded. One was Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams, which we have been using since 2017. And the other was Martin Starnes and Associates, which that's who we used prior to when we started using Thompson's. The third firm declined to send us a proposal saying that they weren't taking on any new clients at that time. So what I've done for this time is I just reached out to Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams. I spoke with the managing partner, and told him if he will, just send us a proposal and see what it would be. And he sent in the cost to do this year's audit at $62,950, which is a $3,050 increase or 5% increase over last year. What I'm planning to do is kind of do next year what I did last year, is do that analysis or research and just see what firms, are doing the county audits. And I really strictly looked at the counties. And, I plan on doing that maybe every other year, because there's not going to be probably hardly any changes from year to year. And if I reached out to Martin Starnes again this year, they would probably have declined. But, since we reached out to them last year and they weren't really even close to the price that Thompson's proposed. But last year, Martin Starnes was at $75,000 and Thompson's was at $59,900, which is a pretty significant difference. And about 2 months ago, I guess back in February, I attended a regional meeting in Kannapolis of finance directors of towns and counties in the surrounding areas. And they more or less had the same assumption that I have, is that there are less and less firms doing county audits now. And if you have a good firm, you really need to stick with them. But, that's true. But, I still want to make sure we do our due diligence and at least seeking options, who's out there, maybe every other year. So, but for this year, I would recommend going back with Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams, and then next year coming back to you and seeing if there's any other firms that could do a good job at for a less price. But for now, I really want to stick with experienced firms that does counties. There's several firms that maybe do 1 or 2 counties a year, and probably most of those firms probably wouldn't take on new county clients anyway, because they probably don't have the capacity to do that. But I just think as important as the audit is, that we have a good experienced firm. So I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions of Toby? Don't hear any, Toby. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve Thompson, Price, Scott, Adams, and Company to perform the fiscal year 2023-2024 audit engagement.
And I second it.
First and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor of approving Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams and Company, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Toby.
All right, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a resolution for the 2024 National Day of Prayer proclamation. And this year, the National Day of Prayer will be May 2nd, 2024, a National Day of Prayer in Stanley County. And I know when I communicated with Matt Smith, who takes charge of this, he invited all the commissioners, if you have the time, and would take the time to come and participate in the National Day of Prayer. And it's, like I say, on May the 2nd at the park there. I'm going to call it the Leonard Mabry Park. It's there at the square, 2nd Street and Main Street. And it will be at 12 o'clock on May the 2nd. And I know also Locust normally has a National Day of Prayer, same date, at the Locust Town Center. Is that correct? Okay. This one is across from Pinnacle Bank. On one side, and the other side's Brown, Brown, and Brown. But you all are invited. So I'm asking that we approve National Day of Prayer in Stanley County, May the 2nd, 2024, which marks the 73rd consecutive observance of the National Day of Prayer, as mandated by both Congress and by our president. And I'm going to continue to read this. This is a resolution. And whereas lift up the word, light up the world is the theme for 2024 National Day of Prayer. And whereas leaders of our nation and our Stanley County community have relied upon the power of prayer throughout our history, now therefore we, the Stanley County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May the 2nd, 2024 as a day of prayer in Stanley County, North Carolina, and urge our citizens to join together in their homes, places of work, places of worship, to pray for the unity of the hearts of all mankind, to continue in prayer for Stanley County, our state, and our nation, adopted this 15th day of April 2024. So can I get a commissioner to make the motion that we accept this proclamation?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion, we approve the proclamation.
First and a second. Any other discussion? And again, I invite you all to come on May the 2nd, 12 o'clock. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And goodness gracious, we definitely need National Day of Prayer. We need every day to be a day of prayer. Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. So what's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion and a second. Commissioner Hatley, any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, that brings us to commissioner comments. And I'm gonna start with Commissioner Crump.
No comment this evening.
Commissioner Hatley. Vice Chairman Barbie.
I was going to say I'm good, but I appreciate everybody coming out and really like the good weather, so I hope it keeps up.
Commissioner Eford.
Two quick things, Mr. Chairman. Most of y'all know Councilman Roger Hypes from the city of Locust. Keep Roger and their family in prayers. His wife Rose passed away Friday after a short illness, so they're at the funeral home tonight, and the funeral will be tomorrow. So remember them in your prayer. And then coming up, April 27th will be our 25th annual Carrie D. Eford Memorial Scholarship Bike Run. It's a bike run we have in memory of our daughter, Carrie, that passed away in February 21st of 1999. We do scholarships for seniors at West Stanley High School. It's a fun day. I know several of y'all have been there, and appreciate you coming. And but we raise money for scholarships, and we've given $117,000 away so far in scholarships to seniors at West Stanley. It'll be April 27th. Registration starts at 9. We leave at 10. Come on out and join barbecue lunch, raffle, silent auction. Just we pray. I don't pray for weather. My wife does, but I pray for safety. It is what it is when you ride, but it's a really fun day. If you don't ride a motorcycle, you're more than welcome to come and join us. We feed over 450 people. West Stanley is the parking lot cafeteria is full that day, but it's really a good time. If you hadn't been, we'd love to have you there. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner King?
No.
Commissioner Shudo?
Couple things, thank you. I'm Representative Sasser for all you've done and all you continue to do. Chris, congratulations on the new job. Looking forward to all you do out there. And that's kind of cool. That mural will be seen by the people at the new livestock arena. And thanks for all y'all do at the senior center. Y'all keep them busy down there. And just want to touch base on one thing with the schools. And we were going to talk about it in closed session. We ran out of time, not in work session. Basically, we met with the Board of Education, was the last, I forget what day that was, Thursday. And a couple things came up, and I was watching their Board of Education meetings, and a couple things kind of concerned me that kind of came out of the blue. One thing was when we were on the facilities committee, and Mike and Bill, correct me if I'm wrong, they kept talking about $40 to $50 million worth of repairs and upgrades. And at their meeting, they talked about all of a sudden $90 million worth of repairs and upgrades, and they're going to be asking for $9 million a year just to put Band-Aids on these things over the next 10 years. Well, those Band-Aids ain't gonna end. And I would like to do a joint meeting with them, and I don't know where we're at on that. We're just waiting for them to get back to us, I think, on that. And then I think they requested for the budget, which we'll learn about later. What was it? What did we give them last year? Was
There was a $15 million in operating, and they've asked for $22 million this year.
so they're asking for a $7 million increase, which is a pretty big percentage in increase. And they were giving all their reasons. And then I'm looking at this resolution that we sent them in the first week in January, and it was 3 months, and they have not replied to us about this till the other night. For those of y'all not familiar, we sent a resolution for them, pretty much asking, it's the big thing. It says the Stanley County Board of Commissioners is committed to providing a sound education system, and this needs to be balanced against affordability and other community needs. As such, requests for a bond referendum must be sufficiently vetted to ensure the local school board has developed a comprehensive capital and operational plan for consideration. And the first thing we asked for, the plan would be an independent and extensive review of the existing financial conditions for the local school system. And what I gathered out of it, they have not replied to us, but they're working on these questions on their own. I don't know why, to get back to us or whatever. And I don't think they understand, we didn't ask them to answer these questions. We asked them to see if they could get somebody independent to do a review. And when I talked to them I think about a month ago, one of the people on the facilities committee said, well, this comprehensive plan and review would be $330,000. And then the other night, he said it was gonna be $750,000 just to do this. And I was talking with County Manager Lucas today and see if there's some way that maybe he can kind of just find out what something like this would cost to give us an idea to get a good thing. Because you have to have proper data to make these decisions. And I can tell you from the history of the schools, the problem with data is that emotion overrides data and common sense when you make a lot of these decisions. And I think for us to do anything and moving forward, we do have to get solid data on this, and from somebody independent to get rid of local prejudice. By local prejudice, I'm talking about my grandma went to school there because her grandma went to school there and stuff like that, so you can't change anything. So I don't know I think County Manager Lucas is just gonna kind of see what a cost is for something like this study to get done, to give us an idea.
Okay. I want to recognize Chris Lambert. Congratulations on being selected to be the facilities director at the Agri-Civic Center and the Agriculture Arena. I hope you fill that thing up
Me too.
every week.
Me too.
Don't feel any pressure.
Not at all.
Just a little bit. But congratulations. I'm sure you'll do a good job. And saying that, I'm going to seek a motion to adjourn. Motion? Second? All right. All in favor, please rise. Thank you.